Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter, the sports podcast, where it's all sports all the time, and we talk about sports. Welcome,
right.
Trent. Welcome, Trey.
Almost didn't want that music to stop. I was getting real into it.
I know, dude. I kind of felt like an old MTV show.
We have college football, NFL football, playoff baseball, NHL hockey, and not too far down the road here, boys, we got some basketball going on. So
That's right. We're in
sports, boys.
the midst of the fall frenzy, that's for sure.
It's kind of like,
Heck
you know how they call it the most wonderful time of the year, like the holiday season? That's kind of like right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good prelude into it for sure.
Prelude or prelude?
I'm more of a prelude guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Emphasis on the D.
Whoa.
Yeah, prelude.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
I knew it was going to sound so bad when I
starting
said
off
it. Hey, welcome to the podcast, everyone. We're a minute in and already probably explicit, so that's good. No. But yeah, hey, sports are all over right now. It's a beautiful thing. Dude, I love this whole football 55 game streak, 40 whatever it is, game streak right now. It is beautiful.
Emphasis on the D.
Holy my gosh.
Tits. Oh my God, guys.
They lost.
You want to talk the worst beat ever? We just witnessed it.
Oh my gosh.
Hail Mary, Houston. Hail Mary at the end of the game. Time expires.
Well, that's a recipe for that too, dang it.
That is a painful one. All right. Anyway,
let's move into NFL here, and
I don't know if I can go on, but anyway, yeah, NFL. So start us off on a more positive note. I believe, guys, there's some trouble in the cheese land.
Starting with that.
Yeah. Oh, sorry,
I'm
Trey.
surprised you actually started with that. I was kind of my final little segue. But
I'm sorry. Well, let's just say this. For the first time, I'll give you some credit. First time in 36 years, the Raiders have beaten the Packers.
Wow.
So
first time in how long?
36 years. No, we don't play often, but 36 years since we beat them. And the reason I say there is trouble, you have a quarterback with 6 interceptions in the past 3 games.
Yeah.
And to quote the star corner of the Packers, at this point, it's pretty obvious that the defense has to just not give up any touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean,
so Trey, I'll kick it over to you.
Yeah, I'll let Trey handle this one because anything I say will be taken out of context.
Just get right after it, aren't we?
I mean, how could we not?
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it other than we don't look like a good football team. Jordan Love looks like a learning quarterback, playing like it. What does he have? 1 touchdown, Trent 6 interceptions in the last 2 games. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much he's looked good against teams like the Bears and a Falcons defense, I'd say, but that's about it.
Yeah, I just don't like your tone.
Oh, sorry. What?
A little condescending, I think, because his team just beat him. But
it's very condescending.
Guys, I'm sorry, but I'll try to fix the tone. Anyway, he hasn't looked good other than against the Bears and a Falcons defense.
No, I agree. I mean, my question is, what's next for him? I mean, what do you have to do to fix it? Is my question. I mean, are they missing offensive linemen? Yes, obviously a key one.
No. There's one cure. There's one cure.
Devontae?
No, he needs to go on a dark retreat.
It did always work for the other one.
Yeah, dark retreat, please.
But I mean, is it the weapons? Is it the I mean, because honestly, at this point in time, let's be honest. I'm not going to use the word that I like to use with coaches, but I mean,
Tyler,
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. I didn't say it. That's why I didn't say it.
Between you two guys, I don't know how much hate you have between Tyler hates Matt LaFleur, Trent hates Jordan Love.
I don't hate Matt
Hold
LaFleur.
on.
I don't hate
you guys
Matt
are just
LaFleur.
haters.
Matt LaFleur's a protege of my boy Shanahan. So why would I
call
hate
him a
LaFleur?
protege because they were in the same position at the teams they were with.
He obviously learned so much from Shanahan.
I wouldn't call him a protege of
He's
Shanahan.
part of Shanahan's tree.
Oh my, no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
I want to clarify. I don't hate Jordan Love. I didn't agree with your take of him already being like a proven like good NFL quarterback when
when exactly did I say that?
Dude, you said you were guaranteeing 2 Super Bowls.
I was gonna say I'll bring up the receipts. I mean, we could run the tape. I'll bring receipts out, but I'm not gonna do that to you. All I'm saying is I think he's in some trouble, and I do agree. I don't think they have many weapons out there, so that's a tough situation to be in. But you do have a pretty good defense that's being wasted right now, and that used to never be the case with Aaron Rodgers there.
And you don't want to waste a good defense.
You don't.
So to clarify, I recall multiple times saying that the Packers' season depends on Jordan Love's play.
You did, but you also guaranteed 2 Super Bowls.
Okay, that's just me being confident. I would take that with a grain of salt. Anyone predicting 2 Super Bowls from a quarterback that's never played is obviously making a bold prediction.
Hot take.
And well, not even a hot take. Maybe wishing it, to be honest, because our quarterback playing the last couple of years, we only have 2 to show as well. But no, I think this year is a learning year for all, especially their offense, all parties involved. Jordan Love doesn't look accurate. The receivers aren't really adjusting to missed throws like experienced receivers are. They're not even catching every ball that's thrown to them in general. Or like accurate throws. Right. So, what I'm hoping is that the Packers don't finish 8 and 9,
middle of the pack.
Because I would like good draft picks. I would like having trade leverage.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, I think you talked about missing offensive linemen, but how useless is David Bakhtiari?
Dude,
what a waste of money. What a waste of a contract extension. The dude can't play more than 2 games a season.
No, and that's been his bugaboo.
Tell you what, the man can slam some beer though. I'll tell you what, man.
I don't give a shit. He can't step onto a football field, so that's great.
No, but and don't get me wrong. I mean, he's a great offensive lineman. All right, but there is another offensive lineman that I would compare him to, just in terms of the inability to stay healthy, and unfortunately, it was Taylor Lewan. Great offensive lineman. I mean, injuries just plagued his career, and it's tough. I mean, when the guys can't overcome stuff like that, it does suck because, you want them to succeed. They were great in college. They're a lot of hope in the pros. Sometimes the injury bug just doesn't let it happen, and I honestly really see a lot of similarities between them because they're both great offensive linemen, and they both just couldn't stay healthy, for more than a couple games at a time usually, and it's unfortunate. So, especially that position, because usually when you're drafting offensive linemen, it's like you're coming in, you're starting, you're playing, you're our guy. Very rarely do you draft an offensive lineman high and they're kind of a bust. Not saying he's a bust, but it is what it is. I mean,
Robert Gallery.
That was the other one, Trent. I was just going to say that came to my mind.
I've been there.
He was like 4th overall or something, wasn't he?
Second, I believe.
Overall. That was a guy. That was a guy I was thinking that he just kind of fell by the wayside, but
devastating. What a terrible pick.
Yeah, I'm definitely
to move on from the Packers Raiders game. How about what I'd like to point out is 72-3. That's the score of points against and points for the Patriots' last 2 games. They got outscored 72-3 in the last 2 weeks.
Yes, and let's be honest. We'll say it here first. Trent's take on the Belichick issue thing. Now it's kind of working out a little bit differently though, because did you say it too, Trey?
I'm the one that said that Bill Belichick would be on the hot seat this year and said he wouldn't get fired. He would be asked to resign or he would move to a different position.
All right.
That was after I said that, yes. But go ahead.
But anyway, in terms of the Patriots, with Belichick is the big issue that I'm hearing a lot of chatter about, on a lot of the stations is the fact that him as the GM, he just sucks. Like as a GM. And a lot of people are calling for him to step down as the GM, continue to remain the coach. Whereas I don't know if that's really going to be the case. But I don't think he's putting himself in a good position to be a GM, considering the fact of what draft pick have you made that's really been good? I mean, let's be honest.
Especially offensively. We got to say, offensively, he has not hit in the draft in a very long time.
I was going to say, because Matthew Judon and the rookie this year, Christian Gonzalez, they look promising. And Judon's been great.
And both are hurt.
Yeah, Judon's a free agent, though. Free agent pickup.
Was he? From where?
Baltimore Ravens. And that was 2 years ago.
Still one of his decisions, though.
Oh, yeah. But once again, drafting-wise, we're not really seeing... Drafting-wise, you're not really seeing much.
I thought another eye-opening thing was, with that being said, how bad these last 2 weeks have been, you got to ask the question of whether or not he's going to remain with Mac Jones or change anything. He said, we're not changing anything.
Yeah.
Well,
which is also like, why do you continue to do the same thing if it's not working?
Yeah, and the other thing is though is, talking, Mac Jones inner circle stating about how you can't turn garbage into whatever, because right now he's criticizing the talent around him, which back to Trey and I's Justin Fields Mac Jones bet, which I think I'm clearly winning at this point.
It's 1-1.
But better overall quarterback right now. But I think you know where his biggest miss was? The handling of the wide receiver position this year.
Yeah.
Because Jacoby Myers got paid, I believe, maybe even like $1 million less than what they had to pay Juju Smith-Schuster. And Jacoby Myers for the Raiders is having a much better year. I mean, he's their second leading receiver. He's got 3 touchdowns, right? He's averaging 11 yards a catch, so. But then the big miss was, I think they really thought they weren't going to miss on DeAndre Hopkins, and then now you're like, okay, Juju's our highlight. That's pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And I don't see anything getting better there. They play the Raiders this week, so there's a chance that that's an interesting little clash of the.
Let's save that when we get to future games here, because I do have a lot to say about that later.
I'm just saying it's an interesting matchup there. Once again, never confident in the Raiders winning, but their schedule, other than the Lions in their next 4 or 5 games, the Raiders actually have a pretty favorable schedule to most teams in the league.
Yeah.
In the sense that they got the Patriots, the Bears, the Lions, the Giants, then the Jets. That's a pretty nice little stretch besides the Lions, but just my thoughts. And I agree. I think Patriots, that's 2 of the worst losses in his entire career.
Yeah, and they were bad. What did you say, Trey? You said 72-3 outscored?
72-3. Yep.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
All right.
So
let me
got
kind
another
of switch.
topic here.
Yeah, I got one because I think this could actually impact some of the possibilities of what's coming. But the Vikings. And you're now without Jefferson. You put him on the IR. I know hamstring injury, but I don't know. That kind of seemed happened pretty quickly. Where maybe was he a little tight? I don't know. But you put Jefferson on the IR. There's a lot of speculation right now of where Kirk Cousins goes and what happens with Kirk Cousins. So back to Trey's point about the Patriots is does he stick with Mac? Does he try to make a reach for Kirk? Or does, a smart team like Robert Saleh and the Jets, pull the trigger and say, hey, let's go get Kirk Cousins here. Try to, savor somewhat of a season so that way we can get A-Rod back next year. And, I don't know. I think I said savor. I meant to say salvage, but you guys know what I meant.
Emphasis on the D.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. The Vikings, Kirk Cousins, they just kind of I don't know. It's very interesting because besides Dalvin Cook, it's pretty much the same team as last year. And their young coach did a decent job with them. I mean, they went to the playoffs for the first time in a while. Is it just the Dalvin Cook factor? Is it the play calling? I mean, Kirk Cousins was doing well. Like, I don't know. I can't figure the Vikings out. So,
I mean, Trey, I'm interested to hear your take because I know we texted each other, all of us, this week about that Jefferson news, and I said my text was, "Wow, Vikings are totally tanking." And if they do trade Cousins, that's definitely it. Like I mean, right now, guys, they're
1 and 5, right? 1 and 4, 1 and 5.
Yeah, they lost to the Buccaneers 20-17, Eagles 34-28, Chargers 28-24. They beat the Panthers by 8 points, who's the worst team in the league right now.
Yeah.
And then you lost to the Chiefs 27-20. So they're in games, but Tyler, when you say like what's going on with them, it's almost like I don't know. I mean, turnovers.
Yeah.
Like they have to be leading the league in fumbles.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I don't know. I mean, maybe they are going to tank. I just find it weird with how could you say to your fan base that you're not throwing in the towel if you trade Kirk Cousins? Like,
right.
I don't know. That's tough. That's a tough thing to swallow.
I would love to see if they had a stat on this, but I think the Vikings, especially the last 2 or 3 years, have to have the most 10-plus play drives that end in a turnover.
Wouldn't doubt it, especially probably in the red zone too.
That's what I'm saying. They either throw an interception in the end zone, or they fumble it. It's insane, and it's like, at this point it's like a 50-50 chance. Are they going to score a touchdown or turn it over right before?
Yeah, no, I agree. Well, I don't know if you guys have anything else, but I do want to talk about the best team in football currently, the Red and Gold Niners. Yes, that's biased. And yes, I'll call it the best team in football.
It's not even biased.
No, but and I'll tell you what. If you guys remember back last week when we were talking about the spread and San Fran was like 3.5 or something, I was like, I think they're going to win by at least 10 or more. And you won by 32 points. I have one thing to point out that's very interesting to me is that the last 15 regular seasons does not include the playoffs. And I know it's regular season versus playoff, it's different football, but in regular season, right now, the last 10 regular season starts that San Fran has had, Brock Purdy was the starter, and 9 of those 10 starts, they have scored over 30 points. The only time they didn't was Brock Purdy's second game against, and I believe it was Seattle, when they put up 21. But they have scored 30 or more points in 9 of those 10 last games. And they've won 15 of the last 15 regular season playoffs, I know. But just kind of an interesting stat there is if you're scoring over 30 points a game, regardless, I mean, I hope that he does start to get a little bit of credit. You know, again, credit is what it is. A lot of guys don't get the stardom that they should, in professional sports. But I hope some people at least respect him a little bit and stop calling him such, he's a system quarterback. He's a system quarterback. It's a great system. But I also think if you watch the tapes and actually watch his footwork, I think he's a pretty damn good quarterback.
Yeah, I think saying, he's a system quarterback has a negative connotation to it. It does, but in his case, he's perfect for that system, Tyler. I don't think it's necessarily a negative thing because, I mean, really, that is there's 3 guys open on every play. I mean, you can do it. Shanahan's drawing up people to be like 10-yard separation from everyone else. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily. I know what you're saying. Like he's a good quarterback, but I think he is a product of that system.
But I also think he makes the right decision.
Yeah, and that's a big part of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback, but I mean,
can I add in on this?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not. I think people have to stop taking it as such a knock as saying a quarterback is a system quarterback because, quite frankly, who gives a shit? You play for that team.
That's
if you're good, if you're good for that team, you're good for that team.
Yeah.
But I will say this: is he's better for that system because he brings one difference than that Jimmy and guys before him out there in San Fran didn't have. Is he does have the ability to stretch the field.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy could, dunk it, sideline, quick slant. But Brock definitely brings the difference in terms of he throws a much better ball downfield.
He's also a little bit more mobile too.
Yeah, younger. And I also say this is I think he is starting to get some recognition.
Yeah.
Mainly in the fact that he is now tied for third for odds to get the MVP. Sorry, MVP.
All right, I can respect that. At least something's happened. I mean,
plus 700.
I did look at it. I saw McCaffrey's moving up too.
Yeah. Well, it's quarterback award, but anyway.
I know.
To add on to your Jimmy Garoppolo Purdy comparison, I saw something. It was a video of people saying that Jimmy Garoppolo is like the Mendoza line of NFL quarterbacks.
What do you mean?
He is like the average. Like not he won't lose you a game, but he won't do anything crazy exciting either. And people were talking like, yeah, like what would Jimmy Garoppolo's highlight reel look like? And the other guys, I think it'd be a 5-yard out for a first down. Just a bunch of 5-yard outs.
I don't know. And I still have a soft spot for Jimmy. I don't think that's the truth.
He's not a threat at all.
It may also be the fact that there wasn't a quarterback that actually was winning games consistently since Jeff Garcia did.
Yeah.
That maybe that's why, when I look at him, I'm like, wow, he was awesome, because I don't know. I love the trade. I love the whole excitement of it. There was a lot of things I liked about bringing him in there, and he did take him to a Super Bowl, overthrew some guys, but it's all right.
Yeah.
But
hey, also shout out us for talking up George Kittle and then him having a 3 touchdown
right?
game. How about that? Huh?
3 touchdowns.
Yes.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's.
One other thing before we move on. Just one game.
I got a quick something too.
The Bengals. Is this not what they did last year?
Exactly what they did. I think they were 0-4 last year, and then they won like 5 straight.
Exactly, and I mean, I'm curious to see how these next couple weeks go because they don't have the easiest of schedules coming up. They do play the 49ers and the Bills, 2 of their next 3 games.
Yeah, I have that. That's one of my games here to talk about this week too. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think Joe Burrow looked like he used to. Jamar Chase, huge game. I mean, they can keep it up. I mean, it's crazy how they start out so slow for the last 2 seasons. And
yep.
Are you backtracking on your Bengals hot take? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, I'm just checking. I mean, you sound a little nervous.
Joe Burrow's not 100%. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And it takes one awkward play, unfortunately.
Don't say that. Jesus.
I'm not wishing it. I'm just saying that's the reality of it.
All right.
Hey, I'm gonna take just here real quick side note here, because I know it's Thursday night here. We put it out on Friday, but Trey, our other bet was 22.5, right?
It's brutal.
Huh.
It's brutal.
Sky Moore's at 22 yards right now with 2 minutes to go. He better get a little catch here. Nope.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a stat correction or something.
Dude, I hope so, because that's absurd.
Yeah.
To lose on a hook on a receiving yard.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right. So
hey,
yeah.
I got something. My last takeaway here. I'm gonna say this, and I think you guys will both agree with this. Ron Rivera should not be a head coach in the NFL anymore.
Ooh, why?
Terrible. Overrated.
You think so?
Yeah. Absolutely overrated.
I think he's overstayed his welcome.
That's
he's done,
I think that's
man.
a fair.
Like I wouldn't call him a terrible head coach because he did do some good things.
Okay, ready? Okay, I'm gonna read these off, and then maybe it's just a spin, guys. Maybe it's just a spin. Okay.
Okay.
So, outside of Ron Rivera's 15-1 season with the Panthers, which was in 2015. He's been a very mediocre head coach. Here is his record as a head coach from 2016 all the way up until now. Ready? 2016, 6-10. 17, 11-5. 18, 7-9. 19, 5-7 because he got fired. 2020, 7-9. 2021, 7-10. 2022, 8-1. 2023 so far, he is 2-3.
So he's kind of like Jeff Fisher.
He has yet to have a winning record in 4 seasons with Washington, and has only made the playoffs with them once, and they were 7-9 as a playoff team that year.
Well, I think that goes back to our initial take, is that Bieniemy might end up taking over.
It's got to be.
Yeah,
it has to happen.
I would like to. I hear you, Trent, but I would like to see like his roster. Did he overperform with any of those average records? Like when he went 7-9, was his team awful and they went close to 500? Like that's kind of what I would like to see. These season-long records.
Did he have Alex Smith there? Did he have Alex Smith?
Yeah,
I don't know. Did he?
Actually, he might have been there early for Alex Smith when he had the devastating injury, but pretty sure wasn't he there for some Kirk?
Or was it Fitzpatrick and Heineke?
Might have been Fitzpatrick.
Listen, all I'm saying is he's by that league standard. I think we talk hot seat. If you're calling LaFleur on the hot seat and you look at his records,
I didn't say LaFleur was on a hot seat.
You did.
Totally I did. I didn't even say the word.
You did insinuate it.
I did say, though, Rivera at the beginning of the season, I think he's already on the hot seat.
That's why Bieniemy went there.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
I'm just saying, I've been watching. I mean, they are the most. I think they're the worst team to watch in football, besides maybe the Jets this year, but without Aaron Rodgers. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got a couple of games to kind of take a peek at here. Some of the teams we've already talked about here. What's up?
Picks. We going with our picks now?
Well, yeah. I want to talk some spreads real quick, and then we'll do picks. But Bears-Vikings. Vikings are the favorite at -3, which I found kind of interesting. I actually think the Bears might put it on them. If the Bears put it on them here, I think you might see the end of Kirk for sure. Bengals-Seahawks. Bengals are -2.5 favorites. I thought was kind of interesting, simply for the fact that the Bengals really haven't been figured out, and I feel like they usually overrate the Seahawks. Colts are +4.5 against Jacksonville. I know Jacksonville's won, 2 now over the Great Pond, but now they're back, and I actually think, I don't know, I think the Colts are going to be all right, even without Richardson for 48 weeks.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
How does the name London Jaguars? How does that sound?
I trust me. I know it's. I know.
Well, that sounds brilliant.
Wow.
Awful.
The London Jaguars.
Terrible accent.
That's a neat team, isn't it?
And I'm not even going to attempt my accent because
come on, give us one, Ty. Give us one.
I'd like a spot of tea with the Jaguars.
Oh my!
Is that Austin Powers?
Yeah. He was British, so then thank you.
I know, but it just sounds like a little flair.
Here a lot of emphasis on that D.
You guys are absurd.
All right, we have to move on.
No, one other game though was Patriots Raiders. Raiders are actually favored here. I found them at 2.5. So very interesting. That's obviously a pretty hot matchup moving forward with the old assistant coach and head coach matchup, plus Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So
true.
All right, let's go. We'll go picks and B teasers. What we got?
All right. You guys want me to rattle my 4 picks off? Like I have 4 picks and then a B teaser.
I got 3 picks. I got 3 picks and a B teaser.
Give us your best bets.
Well, this isn't. So I'm gonna have to say my best bet, but I feel bad because there's been a drastic change, and I took this line 2 days ago, and it's got to be my best bet. But I mean, I have Niners in my. I have a ticket for Niners minus 5.5 at the Browns right now.
Wow.
Yeah, minus 110 too. Like that line jumped to 10 because
10.
if you
It's 10 now.
it's 10.
It was 8.5
Niners
this afternoon.
Yeah.
So that must mean Deshaun's out.
That's a pretty unfair best bet, Trent.
Okay, and did I not preface that? I gave a good prelude, you know. So I'm saying, I mean, Niners minus 5.5. That's why I should have sent that to you guys earlier in the week to take, but we can't even put that out as a recipe.
No,
pick.
that'd
It's
be a
not
tough
fair.
one. Because I also one of my best bets is also the Niners, but it's their team total.
Yeah.
And I actually put in my notes, I put early bet because their team total, I had it over 21.5, minus 120, and I looked today, I think it's 23.5. So that's also jumping. The thing with that though is the fact that it's the Browns defense, and honestly, the Browns are the Browns, but I also think that the Browns defense is pretty decent, you know. So, but we shall see.
All right, I'm gonna give my best bets.
Go ahead.
All right, so the first one I have is the Raiders minus 2.5.
I will tail that because that's one of my best bets.
I know it's the Raiders can look like different teams week to week, but I think the Patriots are really, really struggling.
Yeah.
And I don't think Bill Belichick has any plans to necessarily change it. I think he's going to try to keep going with what he's doing. I mean, he said it himself, but the other one I like is the Commanders plus 3 at the Falcons. The Falcons.
I don't like that. At the Falcons?
Yep, I don't trust Desmond Ridder. The only hope of the Falcons to win that game is Bijan Robinson, but I think the Redskins have more weapons. I think they got McLaurin, Jahan Dotson, Brian Robinson looks like he's going to be a stud running back in the league eventually.
Trey's talking about the team from a couple years ago.
Who?
Call them the Redskins.
Did I say the Redskins?
Wow, Trey.
Whoopsie. Well, they might go back, so not too
whoopsie.
Wrong. My last best bet is, and then I have one more play that I like, but I'm not making it a best bet. So my last one is the Ravens minus 4. I know it's pretty early, but I think that's almost a must-win game for the Ravens.
They did get smacked overseas last year.
Right, but that's okay.
But the difference though, last year they only flew in on Thursday. They spent a full week out there. They left They left the day after. So that made a big difference because the Bills supposedly only flew in on Thursday or Friday or something like that.
Right.
And they looked brutal.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, I think, like I was saying, I think them dropping one to the Steelers, the Browns looking like kind of are hanging the same record as those two teams. I think it's early, but it's a must-win game for the Ravens.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me drop all my plays here. You guys said best bets only. You're dropping 7.
No, that was 3. Those are my 3 best bets.
Well, let him say his other pick he had.
So my one,
okay.
I'm gonna be playing it only because I think it's almost too easy, but I think it's fishy as heck. It's the Lions minus 3 against the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Lions look scary. The Bucks, I mean, I know they got a good defense and everything, but I don't understand that.
Trey, you know the saying.
It's too good to be true.
Leaves of 3, let it be.
Oh, no, I thought you said something about fishy. I thought, smells like fish.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
What?
So.
You guys are sick. Ew. Oh, my God. Anyway.
That's messed up, man.
I'm going Bears plus 2.5 at Vikings.
That's a team I can't bet on, man.
Chargers plus 2.5 at home versus the Cowboys.
Ow.
Yep, I got revenge game for the OC out there in with the Chargers. Okay. I think he's going to run the score up on the Cowboys and make the Cowboys look pathetic. But although the Cowboys have a pretty good, they're 10-1 versus the spread after coming off a loss, so it could be a little tough. here's a pick that I'm usually, you guys are more on this, like the overs, unders. But I do have an under that I like this week, and that was Texans Saints under 42.5.
I like that.
Saints really don't give up more than like 17 points ever. And I think the Texans defense is pretty good. You got a rookie quarterback. I know he's playing like good football for the Texans, but facing that sort of defense could be pretty challenging for him.
Well, you got two defensive head coaches. You know.
What's that?
Go ahead, Trey.
I was going to say C.J. Stroud, third in the league in passing yards.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You also have two defensive head coaches there, Dennis Allen and D'Amico, so could definitely be some low scoring. But only other game I'm going to add, I already talked about my team total with Niners, but and Trey, you 2.5 on the Raiders. I'm also on the -2.5 with the Raiders. The only other game I have to add is I'm on the Colts +4.5, -120 against Jacksonville. I think the Colts can score. I think bringing Jonathan Taylor back, I think you're actually going to be just fine with Minshew. I think 4.5 is a steal to give them that amount of points. So that's my only other bet. I'll kind of real quick just jump into my teaser. My B teaser this week is +260. It is a 4-legger. I got the Lions to a +3. I got the Niners to -2.5. I got the Panthers Dolphins to over 41.5. And I got the Colts at +10. So my teaser, it's a 6-point teaser. And that's the 4 teams I got with that. I got it up to +260. So have fun B teasing.
Trent, let's hear your B teaser.
All right. So mine is 4 legs +200, 6.5 +6.5 on my tees. I got the Bengals +3.5. I got the Texans +8. I have the Falcons +4, and I got the Niners at just 0, so they just need a win.
Careful those, man. Bit me in the butt last week with Notre Dame.
Yeah, but I mean, if the Niners lose to the Browns, that's pathetic.
Niners will beat the Browns by 12 or more.
Okay, so then I should be good.
Yeah.
You guys want to hear my B teaser?
You teasing?
Go for it.
I'm teasing. So mine is a +290 odds.
Oh, tickle.
All right, it's a 6.5 point tease.
Okay.
I got the Cleveland Browns +16.
Wow.
I got the Seattle Seahawks +9. I got the Raiders +4.
Okay.
The New York Jets +13.5. And then the under in the Saints Texans under 49.
Wow. Okay. I like it. It's tease worthy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys ready to jump into Saturday slates and college football, dude? It's gonna be a great Saturday.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited. We'll do just real quick recap some games from the past. Obviously Red River Showdown. You got Oklahoma, Texas. I'll tell you what, Oklahoma's for real, man. Oklahoma is for real. I don't know if you guys saw the hype video that went viral. I think Dave Portnoy put it out there too. It was like, man, I'm an Oklahoma fan. Oklahoma, I'll tell you what, man. They're gonna be all right. What's that coach's name, Trent?
Venables.
Venables. Yep. Okay. That's what I thought it was. But yeah, I don't know. I'm all in on Oklahoma. I was surprised that I don't know. I really feel the defense really showed up too for Oklahoma. Turnovers. I think it was a defensive touchdown at one point in time. I mean, but that's, what do you call him, Trent? Venables?
Venables.
But I mean, he's a defensive guy, so I thought it was kind of interesting to see. But yeah, Oklahoma's were for real, and I'm buying in.
That last minute drive was brutal.
Yeah,
brutal to watch. If you're a Texas fan, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Or betting multiple times on Texas. Gosh.
You chasing?
I everything was placed prior to the game.
Yeah.
So
that's tough.
I was very confident in Texas winning that.
Another game that I thought was kind of surprising was the USC Arizona triple overtime.
Triple overtime was what I had too. Triple
That
OT.
That is crazy.
Listen, it's a look ahead. It's one of those where you get caught looking ahead. You got Notre Dame the following week, so USC overlooked them. It's simple as that. I mean, I will. Can I go back to the Red River rivalry real quick?
Yeah.
My prediction is Texas will beat Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship.
And then what happens?
I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Let me check. I might have to check that they do a Big 12 championship, but Texas is going to find their way back up there.
They didn't for a while.
They used to not, yeah. I think they did because TCU beat Kansas State beat TCU.
You're right. So they
still got it. Yeah.
So then I'm totally saying Texas will win the Big 12 championship game.
All right.
And they will beat Oklahoma.
I'll take it. Let's beer bet.
What?
I'm taking Oklahoma.
Not bet.
No, I'm going to beer bet.
So then it has to be a rematch.
Yeah. If it's not a rematch, then it's nobody wins.
Okay. Yeah. If it's a rematch, Texas wins. Texas wins in the rematch.
Okay. No,
okay. Because here's the thing: is right now, I believe, as the schedule sits, Texas has no ranked opponents left.
Yep, that's right.
And Oklahoma, I believe, still has to play Kansas. I know that's not like, oh my goodness, but it is very, very. It's very likely that those two teams are going to be at the top. Okay. So, just a prediction.
Yeah, I'm on that. Trey, who are you on that? Are you gonna join Trent's side? Or are you going to my side?
I'm gonna join Trent's side.
Of course.
Thank you. Welcome to the good set.
Yeah, because I pointed out last week that this was Texas's last true test. Their next big matchups are Texas Tech, TCU, and Kansas State, I think. Which, I mean, let's be real, they should win all those games pretty handily if they play the way they do.
Should.
I think that game is going to be the highlight of Brent Venables' season.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's got the boys playing. Trent kind of touched on it. Trey, you kind of touched on it too. The USC triple overtime. And then, Trent, you talked about them looking ahead to Notre Dame. But I do want to quickly I don't want to say a whole lot about it, but Louisville's 6-0. Put the smackdown on Notre Dame, which I think that kind of maybe Notre Dame was also looking ahead to USC. Definite possibility, but that didn't help their causes. That also didn't help Trent's Heisman bet. But I'm just saying.
Oh, stop it!
You know, Tyler really doesn't want Sam Hartman with the Heisman.
And you know what's funny though? I don't mind Sam Hartman. I just really like Penix Jr.
Yeah. So another game I want to bring up is I think you guys were on the opposite side of it, if I remember. And you gave me a bunch of crap when I picked UCLA -3.5.
No, that was probably me because I was against that.
Yeah.
That game surprised me.
I was too.
I think they're sneaky good, more than what people think, and they don't get a lot of attention about it either, especially in that Pac-12.
It's Chip Kelly down there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Friggin' can't stand that guy.
Yeah, he's a good college coach, though.
Great college coach, but an asshole when it comes to Niners.
Can we just Trey, to stay where you're at right now? Can we just comment again that isn't it not crazy? Is it not crazy that right now the conference that seems to be maybe not have the absolute best, but it's the Pac-12, man. Yeah. You've got Washington, Oregon, USC, Utah, Washington State, Oregon State, all ranked. Yeah. And it's you look at some of these other teams, it's right now.
Did you say UCLA? Because UCLA's ranked now, too.
Yeah, in UCLA. But, you have Washington, who has 5 ranked opponents left on their schedule. Mm. You have Oregon, who has 5 ranked opponents left on their schedule. And then you got Texas, who has 0. You got Oklahoma, who has 1. But then you got, Penn State, who only has 2. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're 2 huge games. I mean, these 3 teams that in the Big Ten are legit and elite. But it's just nuts that from top to bottom right now, the Pac-12 is right now standing out the most.
Yeah,
top to bottom. In my opinion.
Totally agree, and it almost makes you wonder, like, are they going to regret the decision? Or are they, like, what's going to... I mean, I guess nothing can happen in terms... Because money talks and everything's kind of already settled in terms of who goes where. But it's like... I don't know. It's definitely interesting to me because they are tops. I mean, they have the top teams. It's like...
Yep.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Tyler.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
I'd say one more team that I think kind of is also flying under the radar in terms of it's still undefeated and doing very well is North Carolina.
Yeah.
I think what happened was that overtime game with Appalachian State in week 2. I think that kind of turned teams away, or not teams, but analysts and not fans, but like people that analyze college football and talk about it. I think it really turned it away from them because Appalachian State's not a threat of a school, really. You know what I mean? Playing in a smaller conference and stuff.
Well, they usually play Carolina tough.
Right. Or they play big games tough in general.
Yeah.
I mean, look all the way back at Michigan how many years ago. But since that game, they're beating teams pretty handedly. Granted, it's been Minnesota, Pittsburgh, and Syracuse, but they're winning every game by over 17 points. So Drake May's kind of looking like another playing himself back into a Heisman candidate. And an NFL prospect in that fact. But, just look out for, next week against Miami, it's going to be a true test, I think. And if they win that game, I would keep an eye on UNC for the rest of the year.
No, Trent was big against UNC, and they're kind of hitting that spot where Trent said that UNC does falter. Remember, I think, Trent, you pointed out, like, I think you said they'll lose, like, 2-3 games.
It's Mac Brown.
Yeah. So they are kind of hitting a stretch, and I think Miami is going to be that test. Now, Miami obviously had a big whoopsie last weekend. Not taking a knee, fumbling, and we don't have to get into that whole thing. But, it is. Yeah, UNC definitely has a test. But I think game of the week, obviously, would we agree that is Oregon-Washington this week? 7 versus an 8. Right now, Washington sits at -3, and, I mean, for lack of a better term, I think you could really call this the Knicks versus the Penix. So, Knicks versus the Penix Bowl here, and...
Yeah, Tyler, I'm wondering which one of those guys is going to be the X factor in that game. You get it?
Just because they have an X in their name?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was pretty clever.
That's pretty lame.
Terrible.
I like my Knicks versus Penix, dude. Big Penix energy.
Yeah, Tyler, that can transition us into our picks for this week. So.
Yeah.
I got a pick on that game. Does everyone else? Or?
Yeah. So let me give you mine real quick because mine's probably a little bit different than you guys. I don't like the over like in this game. I'm nervous to pick a spread in this game. I am going with a Washington team total. And I'm going over 34.5 for -113.
And you don't like the over.
No, but I like Washington scoring over 34.5.
Okay, just please don't pick the under.
No, I'm not after the LSU game the other week.
All right.
No,
I'm not afraid to pick a spread or a total or anything like that. And I'm going Oregon +3.
Stupid, Trey.
It's a dumb. I think it is. I think Oregon's.
Hey, Trey.
Oregon's looking pretty good. I like Bo Nix. I like their defense. What's up, Trent?
You know what they say?
What's that?
Ducks fly together. Quack, quack. I'm with you on that, bud.
All right. I love it.
I'll tail that with
You're on Oregon, too.
Yeah, flying V formation. That's how much I'm tailing that thing. Jeez, come on now.
So as much as you, Trey, as you want to say I'm against Sam Hartman, Trent is also totally against Penix.
No, not at all. Not at all.
He is. He's totally against Penix.
That's just some of you guys' little Heisman rivalry thing.
Dude,
you got going on.
So frustrating.
I think
pick ducks, get ducked.
Nope, nobody says that.
I don't even know what that means. But I think Washington may have gotten a little exposed this year against. I believe it was Arizona, wasn't it?
He had a week off to prepare for Oregon.
How about Arizona playing two teams back to back? Pretty tough.
They definitely exposed the Penix. I mean, exposed.
He's averaging 399.2 yards a game.
They exposed the Penix.
Oh, sorry. I actually did not try to pronounce his name that way.
I know. Yes, you did.
Yeah, that was the wrong E.
Wrong E, wrong D.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
So
So
I'm on the over, boys. I am over 67.5.
okay. I'd say keep an eye on that. If you can get that at 66, 65 and a half.
I think it's going to go up. I think it's going to touch 70s.
Ooh. I don't know, man.
Dude, both teams have very poor defenses, very good offenses. Matter of fact, I should say this. Oregon's defense is better than Washington's defense. But Washington's offense is so high-powered that you got to figure they're going to score still, right? But now you have an Oregon offense who isn't – they're not a joke either, but Washington's defense is horrendous.
Here, I'm going to make a bold statement. I think that Bo Nix throws 2 picks.
Oh, my gosh.
Now, I think that's the difference in this game.
Okay, I mean, Tyler, let's. I'm serious when I say this here.
I know. Okay. I'm just making a bold statement.
Washington's offense is first in total yards, first in passing yards, 186th in rush yards, third in points. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Guess who is second in points? Oregon. Yeah. They score 51.6 a game. Okay. They put up 560 yards a game. They're second to Washington. And now when you get the defense, Tyler, they are. I mean, they're not good at all in defense when I'm talking Washington. So I'm telling you, this game is going way over. I think it's going to be one of those fun games to watch for sure.
Okay.
So especially if you love
it's a 3:30 game too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think it's an early game. It's a 3:30.
Yep, ABC. ABC. Yep.
Trent, I agree with everything you said except for one thing, and that's you said both teams' defenses aren't good.
I backtracked. That was a very bad statement. What I wanted to focus on was Oregon's offense technically isn't as I should have said Oregon's offense isn't as good as Washington's offense, but Washington's defense is not nearly as good as Oregon's defense. So that's where do you see my balancing factor that I'm talking about here?
Yeah, I see it.
Like both teams are going to score. Like if this game goes under, I'm literally, I don't know what to do. I won't know what to do.
Can I say, Trent? This is how we'll go under. Okay.
Yep.
Oregon will score 42 points. Washington will score 13.
Okay.
Whoa.
I'm saying that's the way it would go under is Washington not scoring. That's the only way.
What about Oregon not scoring? Could it not go the complete opposite game?
Oregon's going to score. Washington doesn't have a good defense, and Oregon's offense is just as good. Like the same points Trent's making. I mean, the only thing I disagreed with him on was he said, I know he backtracked, but Oregon's defense is pretty phenomenal, actually.
Let us find out, boys.
5th in the nation in yards allowed.
All right, I think Trey and Tyler, you're due for a beer bet.
Why am I always the ones involved in beer bets? You guys haven't made beer bets together at all.
Well, right now we're both back in the Ducks, so let's just go straight up money line. Or actually, you gonna give us? Actually, no, 3 points. We'll take our 3 points.
No, I'm taking money line on this game or not because I took a team total. I didn't take anything else.
I'll take money line.
I'll take it. I'll take money line.
All right. Be nice to drink 2 cold beers.
All right.
All right, so let's move into the USC game versus Notre Dame. I feel like that's a pretty big one. I'm kind of interested in the fact that Notre Dame is actually the favorite at -3. I don't know if that line's changed. I haven't looked tonight, but this afternoon it was -3 Notre Dame.
I thought that was pretty surprising too. I'm not gonna lie.
And so my bet on this is USC +3. I think USC blows them out.
Oh, hey, just be very aware of the heavy rains in the area because the game is being played at Notre Dame, and it's supposed to be very, very sloppy. And I think that's the only reason that books are making it in favor of Notre Dame because they're more of a, hey, we could run it at you type deal. And USC's defense is as usual, in a Lincoln Riley team, very, very suspect.
I really thought I was listening to Nostradamus when Trent's like, "Beware of the heavy rains." It's like, what the hell? Like, okay.
Well, I'm saying
what's happening
so
next.
It's just that's why the lines.
Yeah,
You gotta be careful of those lines. So
I know it just sounded funny. Beware of the heavy rains that wash upon the shores. Like that's funny.
okay.
I got. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I have once again not very typical of me, but I have an over pick this week in college football too. I believe that Missouri and Kentucky go way over 51.5 points.
Okay, so tell me this, because I would like to I wouldn't have to talk a ton about it, but if you're going to pick a winner in that game, who do you think wins?
Missouri.
You say Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on Kentucky. I think Missouri's fate.
Yeah. Kentucky got throttled, man.
They did. It's Georgia though.
Yeah, but Georgia hasn't done that to everybody. Like Kentucky Kentucky might have. I think
maybe Georgia had some guys get out of prison. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Guys get in trouble all the time.
It's all former players.
All gets pushed under the rug.
But I would have to say I like Missouri in that. I do believe Missouri is a dog. It's at Kentucky. But I honestly, the reason I didn't take the actual spread is I think once again, with those two teams, their offenses are so high power, their defenses are super mediocre. That's an ongoing theme. It's weird. A lot of teams nowadays just don't play good defense. I don't know, but I'm taking those high powered offense, putting points up on the board.
All right. Other bet I have is in the UNC Miami game. I don't know where you guys are at on this game. Again, this was kind of one of those games where totals scared me a little bit. Team totals scared me a little bit. Spread scared me a little bit. So went a little bit unique here, and I actually took a UNC Miami first half over 27.5 points for -115 is my pick in this UNC Miami game. I went back.
Very unique bet.
Very unique, and I went back and did a little bit of research with UNC Miami in their first halves and tried to see, where are they scoring their points. Interestingly enough, the second half over was capped at 28.5, which I felt like if I'm going to take that, I'm probably going to take the under. But both these teams score a lot in the first half and have potential to really kind of start off quick. And that's kind of what I'm banking on. Especially, I'm kind of really more looking at UNC starting off pretty quick here, and Miami trying to play catch up a little bit. But I'm taking the over. It's 4 touchdowns, 1/2. So I think this game can be a little bit high scoring early. So that's what I'm taking.
Okay.
You guys have any picks in that game or?
Not in that game.
I don't.
Yeah, I think it's too toss-uppy. I think it's a test for UNC.
That's why I picked that unique bet, though.
Yeah. Yeah, if I were to bet on it, I'd probably pick UNC. But like I said, I just want to see what they do with this matchup before I start laying money on them.
That's fair enough. Next bet for you guys. What do you got? I have one more bet then, but go ahead.
Yeah, this is going to be my last one, and it's going to be my Friday pick, I believe. I am actually on Memphis plus 4.5 at home versus Tulane. Anyway, both teams sit at the top of the American. Memphis is coming off of a big win versus Boise, and I also, if you look this year, Memphis hung with Missouri too. So I think Memphis giving 4.5 at home. I know the other team, the Green Wave, is pretty good, but I'm going Memphis plus 4.5 is my other game that I'm keeping an eye on.
I like it.
Yeah, my two big bets I think for Saturday are they're actually away favorites, which I know treated us well earlier in the year, Trent. But I'm gonna press my luck with it. First game would be Kansas -3 at Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I think Kansas is more of a real deal than what Kansas and Missouri are in the SEC. I think Kansas is more of the real deal in the Big 12 than those two schools are in the SEC. Because they kind of compare them. You know what I mean? Like Kansas, Kentucky, I know they're blue bloods and they're performing well in football, but that's just my kind of take on that. Also, I like Ohio -5.5 at Northern Illinois.
We haven't talked a lot of MAC games, have we?
No, they're coming up right now. It's Conference USA is.
I was gonna say that's
big
been some interesting football to bet too. Some frustrating to bet, but it's a different story.
And then these don't really fit the same theme as away favorites, but I like UCLA +3.5 at Oregon State, and I like Wyoming +11 at Air Force.
+11.
Yep.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, Air Force always is intriguing to me because they can either score a lot of points or they can score nothing.
Yep, I think Wyoming's a sneaky good team this year.
Yeah, I can see
big
that.
win going off against Fresno State. I know that,
but only other bet I have here besides my B teaser for college football is I always try to pick a little bit of a unique one too, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of my bets recently have been more of like the big time top 25 games, which sometimes can be super hard to cap. So I really try to look at some teams that I like teams that are really under the radar, but then I also like teams that are, under the radar, but still, you can watch them pretty regularly. And I think I told Trey off the air, I said the team I'm watching right now is Maryland. So this is probably one of the most unique bets I've taken, actually, this college football season. I am taking Maryland first half team total over 16.5 at -145. So when you want to talk about digging deep into bets, man, I was a couple tabs deep trying to figure out, looking at team totals. I'm like, I don't like the total here, but I like this total here. But yeah, I figured 16.5. I mean, that's 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the first half. I think is viable. I love when you can get those hooks where it could go in your favor with pretty natural scoring. If that makes sense, like 2 touchdowns and a field goal. If you're going 16, like if it was 17.5, I'd be like, okay, I see where we're going here. But 16.5, I could definitely see. But -145 might be my Saturday pick. Still going to kind of venture out and look at some things, but I know I'm trying to stay true to my podcast talk picks because I feel like they always hit, or at least, most of them hit. So I'm trying to stay true to what I say. Trust my gut. I feel like my initial gut reaction is usually pretty strong. So I know you guys feel also the same way, but so. Trent, any other picks?
I do too. Maryland's sneaky good. I know they kind of just couldn't cover. They were so close all game battling with Ohio State this past week, but they are a team that can score and score in the bunches. So
bunches. Yeah. That's exactly the word I would use.
Yeah, big plays.
So, all right, Trent. Any other picks? Trey, any other picks? You guys ready? You guys got teasers?
Not for me. I don't have a teaser quite developed for college yet.
All right.
No, all my picks I disclosed. So,
Trent, you got any B teasers?
No, I have yet to do a college teaser. I've done college parlays where I tease some some lines and some overs down and whatnot, but I haven't done a straight up teaser for those yet. So maybe that's something I will venture into.
Well, so all right, now I'll give my last one here because I do have a B teaser for college football. It's only a 4-legger, and shoot, I don't even know what the odds are now. But the teaser itself was at 6.5 tees. I'm sorry. I actually only took 5.5 points on this. I felt pretty good with where the numbers were, so I ended up only taking it at 5.5. But the first one that we're going to start on, plus 280. All right, plus 280 here. Rutgers is now a +1 against Michigan State. USC is a +8 at Notre Dame. I had the under in the Florida-Carolina game at now +63. And then I took Kentucky's spread at +3 now against Missouri. So that's my college football B teaser. But we shall see.
Teasing lots of B's this weekend.
Dude, lots of tickles, man. Lots of tickles.
Emphasis on that D. Yes.
So, hey, real quick. So we did talk. We obviously have baseball. We obviously have hockey going on right now. Flyers won tonight, which was beautiful. Definitely been checking out some shots on goal props. Been following some of my guys to kind of keep an eye on that stuff. But I do have, unless you guys have anything else to say here, I do have kind of one hypothetical question that's kind of fun to think about.
Okay, let's hear it.
If you had to make a lot of money, all right, playing some sort of professional sport, what would you do for the least amount of work?
Yeah, I would definitely choose golf. It's my favorite thing to do right now.
Interesting.
You get to travel all over the world, play on some amazing courses, and really, in professional golf, you're playing against others for money, yeah, but it's just fun to challenge yourself playing it. And if I could make a ton of money doing it, then absolutely, that's what I would choose is golf.
Conversation came up today too, and somebody else said golf too, because you're going to make money even if you don't win.
Yeah,
I thought that was interesting too. Trent, what do you got?
Just gotta make the cuts.
Yeah.
Man, I would want to be a bullpen catcher.
Wow. I don't even know if that was an option I've ever thought of.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're getting paid good money. You're out there in the bullpen all game. You're gonna occasionally maybe get called in action, but yeah, it's my pick.
My thought is, again, kind of sticking with baseball. I feel like because there's no salary cap, you can really kind of maximize your salary. I said a relief pitcher, not a closer, just because closers have a lot of pressure on them, to finish games and get saves. But relief pitchers, man, you can come in for like one batter, knock him out. All right, I'm done. So I said relief pitcher, but the other one I thought of was backup quarterback. Might not be bad, but because I also said, think about this though. You're a backup quarterback. You come in, nobody expects you to win.
Yeah.
Right? Not a whole
That's
lot
true.
of pressure. You're the backup quarterback for a reason, right?
Yeah, I definitely see that.
True.
I don't know though. Quarterback is. Imagine some guy gets hurt still playing quarterback is doing a lot to make that.
Oh,
money.
I know. No, I know. But yeah, that's interesting. So that was just thought I had kicking around today. But
I like that.
any
Yeah,
other input here for this beautiful Friday morning,
Absolutely not. I just hope everyone enjoys it.
guys?
Nice fall day.
Happy Friday the 13th, man.
Oh, yikes!
Hey, it's my son's birthday today, so
Isn't there like a
Appreciate
full
that.
moon coming too?
probably I wouldn't doubt that. All right. Well, hey, we will see you next week. Appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend,
Yeah.
everyone. See you next
Been a
week.
pleasure like always, fellas. Take it easy.
All right. See you.
Yes. See you guys.